have. But either way, sorry for all the waffle. There's obviously tech issues happen sometimes, but we are into our second match. A CT side start for Renegades, exactly where we want to be seeing them, but the pressure is going to be coming onto them very fast indeed.
Look at this, JW in towards apartments. We have the rest of them just bombard in the site. Brolin, unfortunately, not able to hit the initial shots, and it looks like it's going all blue for Renegades, as JW's the only one to pick up a kill, and now he has 4 more to 5, but as quick as that round started, it finished in Renegades' favor, able to take the pistol round here on map number 2.
Yeah, a strong setup initially from them. It seemed like they were more than prepared for that aggressive push on towards the A site, a wraparound onto short, and actually Fnatic managed to gain a lot of ground. It was just the positioning of the CTs was so good that there wasn't really anything they could do about it. No real kills, no bomb plant. Suggests that there's a very slim chance of a purchase coming in. So it's going to be the CT side with a good opportunity to make a lot of cash. You can see them go heavy into the SMGs to try and farm up the money, but it also gives them that extra utility so that if there is a force buy-in, it's going to be difficult for Fnatic to gain any real map control.
Yeah, you can see Fnatic are just taking this as a pseudo timeout here. Even Flusher was back in T-spawn for quite a long time. I wonder if that was more of like a set strategy for Fnatic to kind of rush in like that, or is that maybe just like a no-respect play up against Renegades, considering how one-sided our first map really was. This nade can do some decent damage. There you go, Golden down to 32 off of that one. But we're not really expecting Renegades to lose this round.
No, I think if they do, we can just end the match here, because that would be atrocious, considering there is nothing invested for the T side. But yeah, I don't believe that's going to be happening. Nice utility damage already coming in from Renegades. And this is a map they're confident on. So I don't think that they're going to come into this too downhearted. I think going into the tournament, they know they're playing up against some top teams. So they've got to be ready for blasts like that to happen. And this is just wonderful. Sicko, of course, the man hoping to get that AWP ASAP. And he's just made enough cash that he could buy one straight away if he wanted to.
Oh, now Renegade's going to be investing themselves. Will he go for the op?
I kind of don't want him to. I'd like them to play this as like a ludicrous bonus round where you just do something silly, like you push mid, or you really try and fight versus what is going to be the rifles, and then you've made enough money that you can buy into the next round. It would still be a little bit dicey, but he could still have his AWP, and if they can get a kill or two, of course, they'd make a large amount of finances. Nade down into mid, not really going to do too much, but they are challenging for Banana, and Flusher has just been wrecked early on. Even the Incendiary going to look to force him further back, and that is Banana completely under the control of the CTs, although they're not holding on to it. Sicko as well, the same double setup that they had in the last round. Looking good, but the real issue for the Ts is they can't actually force any of these players out of these positions. However, they have managed to get the site.
They have Brolin. He's the one that's going to force them out of positions as he gets in towards the site. Gets the first kill, the bomb making its way through. Should be planted. Brolin gets himself a second. Even Flusher there to lurk in towards apartments as well. And now Renegades, as you mentioned, trying to see it as a bonus round for them. Have not been able to pick up a single kill. Most likely won't get any either. But they'll still be able to buy up into the round after this. But Fnatic do get their first on the board, and off the back of the one player.
Yeah, that was just a good initiative in the end that they realized that there wasn't actually anybody within the site. That was the only hole within the defense of Renegades. Was Arch side was stacked, but they didn't have anyone to defend A itself. And now they're left in a bit of a dicey territory, because they could have upgraded their guns in this round. Instead, they went for the bonus, which, again, I said I got no issue with. But now they're going to have a similar amount of money where they could, again, upgrade to rifles if they wanted to, but then they'd lose utility. So do you go for a force buy here, or do you go for a smaller investment once again and just continue to have these like weird SMG buys?
It looks like we'll get our answers. Sicko goes for the op. Dexter goes for the M4. Going for that big investment into the round. We still have 2 SMGs, though, for Ins and Hats. So I'm curious to see where they're actually going to be, you know, kind of playing from to force in those close quarter combat fights. And Sicko as well with the op invested. You'd hope to pick up a kill or two from this. Also just takes a chunk of damage from that grenade. And Battle of Banana, it's begun.
Obviously going to be a massive point of contention throughout the match, but it will be in any game of Inferno. Sicko, this is what I mean. He normally plays a fairly passive angle. You'll see him watching in towards the apartments for the majority of the game. But this is his prime position, like just around the site. Difficult to force out. He's going to be waiting patiently, hits the first shot, and then is just happy to fall back. In the meantime, though, the T's have rotated their gaze towards this B site. And we'll see if Dexter is actually going to make any sort of rotation back just yet, or if it's just going to be down to Ins. And, of course, Malta still within the site itself.
Smoke comes in. Malta's going to fall immediately as In's trying to spam through the smoke as he gets the first, but they've lost the site. Ins can't afford to go back in towards Coffins. You have to give this one up for now. And now you have to kind of question, maybe do you save the M4 and the op here? You do have, you know, a 4-on-3. You have a person pushed up at least over towards the construction area, but rotation's a little bit slow out of Renegades to get here. Crim's going to equalize things, taking down Sicko, so now they've lost their op. It looks like Renegades want to make this a little bit expensive for Fnatic. Flashbang comes at the perfect time. Golden gets himself 2. And now it's Ellen Hats to run away. Gets the op, but I think he's going to escape this one. And there we go, Fnatic. Take the second round. Get 2 straight now. And now if you're Renegades, well, you don't really have the money to invest here. Maybe some pistols.
Yeah, this is the weird thing that's happened with their economy. This is now going into what will be round number 5, and we still haven't seen Renegades with a rifle buy. And it's because they went for those sort of weird force buy rounds, but still having some players saving a little bit of extra cash, and it will set them up nicely in the next, but it means that Fnatic have had the chance to face off against weaker buy and weaker buy again. And so they're now going to manage to build into this a little bit easier than maybe it would have been.
I do like flush on the Mac 10, by the way, for this round. I mean, not too heavy an investment. You know, their economy is relatively broken. Okay, well, the curse didn't leave you, Tom.
Not really a big loss, though. I like the gamble rotation, however. They get that 1 kill. Malta's left behind the smoke. Now there's 3 players and a 4th lurking around, ready for this CT side. However, already one will fall. Ins with a perfect timing is going to be able to break back with 2 kills. A 3rd already for him and a rifle retrieved as well. The T's now in quite a bit of trouble. JW hoping for a different weapon, but instead remains with his AWP, watching to see if there's any push down banana, but it's passive from Malta. He's just going to be waiting. Still time for Fnatic to play with, but not a whole lot.
Oh, this actually might be the play. Go in towards CT spawn. It's just all on Malta to defend. The B side only has is a deagle. 20 seconds left to go, so Fnatic's going to have to pick up the pace momentarily. Malta's going to be able to spot them out, and ideally, he's looking to just stay alive or just get the headshot on a JW. No, it's all on Crim's. Rotations from CT should be coming through. I don't really see a world where Crims can win this one. And there we go, Malta. Maybe all he needs is the deagle. Gets himself 2 and gets Renegades the round.
That was 5 deagle kills as well. Like, every single kill in that round came in with the deagles. So Malta and In's doing great work, rotating from the B site, stacking up on the other side, and the perfect timing from Ins to give them that advantage. And then from then on, it looked problematic. So Renegades bounced back. Of course, the T's have made themselves enough money that they can go for an investment. JW will have that all back, but this is a buy you don't want to see on a CT side almost ever. An AWP and 3 Kriegs are going to be ready and waiting to try and take this fight, and they're going to bolster their B defense, at least for the start of the round. But you can see Dexter just wanting to throw in that extra utility, help with the Molotovs, help with the denial, and this is risky. In's going through the Molotov, doesn't have much support, but he is at least going to be able to get that initial frag, and then the re-smoke gives them position. Like, he gets away with a lot more than I expected he would.
Especially being cut off by the Molotov in between, like he was, like I said, separated between him and Malta. Catches Golden on the push, now Hats, that nade could have been good, but Crim's just going to back away for now. I mean, Fnatic, they still have 3 smokes and 2 flashes left. There's really not much utility left on that B site. And they have Incendiary, and that's about it. So the B hit might actually be exactly what Fnatic needs.
And taking their time to make that rotation back. They struggled to get past them in the last round with pistols, but their previous entry into this site was massively successful. Blue's going to be in play. They're going to clear out one straight away, but it's just a 1-for-1 trade. Not enough for the CT side players, and rotation from Sicko will be in, but JW peeks above the smoke and finds that pick instead. Leaves the remaining players from Renegades to hold back, and well, it's those two players who managed to get an ace between them in the last round rotating. They've actually really struggled when it comes to these B hits coming out from the Swedes.
I mean, we saw how much utility was invested out of Renegades off the bat, right? They went for the 3-man stack. They got the initial control, getting ins out there for the first kill into Golden, but they had no smokes left. They had really no flashes left to kind of stop any sort of push out of Fnatic, and then eventually just being overwhelmed. Brolin with a great shot onto the boost. Renegades will at least keep 2 players left alive. Still going to be a really off buy for them in the end of things. I mean, Inns does have 6.5k. Will he drop an op over to Sicko to allow him to do his own thing? Looks like he will indeed. So JW's going to have the op for Fnatic. We might see a battle in middle unless Sicko's going to continue to hold those soft angles, as you mentioned before. More passive angles.
Instead, I think he had the spawn for B, so he's going to be the one looking for that initial play. Has the smoke to put out the Molotov, but isn't going to be able to find anything just yet. Actually spots as well, and it's Malta who suffers because of it. He actually goes down through the corner, and that is not the early battle that Renegades were looking for. They were hoping that the AWP could do most of the work. He is still going to remain in this position, but you can see Fnatic clearly confident in their plays around Banana. They've left a couple just to make sure that they're not being cut off from behind. And in fact, the remaining CT players are so deep within the A site that if this B take comes in, I'm not really sure what they can do. But that is a nice Molotov. That was only seen on the map, but they actually bounced it over the top just to try and deny at least a little bit more time for the side of Fnatic.
Going on your point before about how far back they are, you have to imagine if Fnatic get into either one of these sites and get the 2 kills there, like the Renegades are just going to be saving. There's almost no point to go 2v5 or 2v4 and after plant. Sicko, good little nade comes through. Perfect timing on this one, but 30 seconds left. It looks like the hit will eventually come through. Smoke's being thrown down. Sicko looking to get in towards the back of site to make this op effective. The problem is the bomb is actually rotated away. They've left Flusha there to cause a distraction, but Dexter here in the meantime is able to get one onto Brolin, call for the rotations to come through. Flusha will eventually fall, and it comes down to these 2 defenders at the A site.
Yeah, late smoke as well makes things that little bit more difficult. Dexter just lurking within the site. The crossfire there, but Crims has made his way around, but he doesn't connect initially. And actually, that's the bomb dropped on the site. That's all they needed. The time runs out, and Hats from the pit is able to get a triple kill. That round looked like it was set up for Fnatic, at least in the start of it. But the switch to the A site in the last few seconds, and some heroics basically from Hats, is enough to give Renegades their 4th round onto the board. And, well, definitely leaves some pieces missing when it comes to the finances of Fnatic.
This buy looks familiar for Renegades. 3 SGs and then 4 in an AWP.
It's not bad.
Yeah, not bad at all. I mean, they earned it. They deserved it after that last round. I mean, having 2 players split like that, with Malta dropping like right off the bat. And again, Renegade's able to poise for that early banana control. Leave Inns down there. Rotate Malta back towards A, which is seeming to be where the hit will be coming out of Fnatic. Do at least have pistols invested into this, so there is potential to do some decent damage to the economy out of Renegades if they could just get these kills. Crims does get tagged up down to 16 health, but Sicko's still going to be here just peeking away at the boxes, and so will his backup. And there we go, Renegades cleanest round to date, 5-3 in favor of them.
That's exactly what you want when facing off against the pistols. Make that money, make sure nobody has to rebuy, and also just don't even give any bonus cash over to the opposition. Like, even now, if you look at what can potentially be bought up by Fnatic, there's still going to be pieces missing. Like, they've actually had to drop an extra AK over to Crims just so he can afford to have one. Then JW with a glass cannon AWP. Like, it is not a pretty purchase, to say the least, from Fnatic. Once again, we're going to see this challenge for Banana. Deep smoke thrown in with the Molotovs behind it, and considering there are smokes available to Fnatic, it seems like they don't really want to waste them. Like they don't have enough utility to fight it. Well, maybe a little bit of payback from the previous round. Malta going down early through the wall and smoke. And now they get one back in return, and this is looking clean. A sneaky Dexter in the corner has said he's going to be that irritating player, always sort of lurking somewhere, hiding in the corners, willing to push smokes, willing to push. Been a little bit more passive than normal, but we've still seen some off angles from him. We've seen him boosted up. We've seen him just in that corner multiple times around arch side. And this round is falling very, very flat for Fnatic. Golden, you can see, is trying to do something a little bit risky, but considering he has the bomb, I'm not really sure what he's hoping for here. It will be dropped, and now JW, 1 versus 5, no armor, a single smoke, and not really any hope at all.
I was actually wanting to touch on that point about Dexter. How you mentioned before, like the mid plays out of him seeming to catch teams off guard and seeming to work so consistently, but he's been a lot more reserved, I feel like, so far within the actual map. I mean, granted, it's been very back and forth between the two teams. We've only seen, I think, 2 rounds in a row just now. Oh. JW able to get one. Again, the bomb not in his hands, though, looking to save for the last 20 seconds of time. And Renegades with not a lot of money, I think making a smart call to just let him escape with this and no need to lose out on too much more.
Yeah, I think they're going to be more focused, at least at this point, on their own economy rather than anything else. So, yeah, just being a little bit patient. They'll allow Renegades to get to 6 rounds on that CT side, which is still the side we expect to see the majority of the rounds on. But it's been a much better performance overall. We've seen Sicko really get his groove back, especially now that he's actually been able to consistently get that AWP. It's much more enjoyable to watch. I think also Dexter, although he's not necessarily gone for those all-out brute force rounds, he's still been playing those irritating positions where someone will peek, he'll peek moments later and just get that kill. And that second kill is, if anything, more integral than the first, because it just leaves the CT side, or the T side, sorry, in such a detrimental position. JW, well, he's just been owned. Those nades have destroyed him at the beginning of the round, hoping for an early AWP pick. And Sicko even going to chime in with a second onto Brolin. It is mostly an eco round. The only issue is JW is still going to have no money in the next round.
Maybe looking at a double save, or maybe looking at an awkward buy-up for them. Oh, flush it. Spins out the head out of Malta, not able to quite connect the shot, though. Crit is so close, if only he knew. Just aim a little bit lower, he would have had the dome of ins. But yeah, I mean, credit to Renegades, considering how one-sided map number 1 is, or was. They actually got more rounds in the first 10 than they had the entirety of Dust 2. It seems like they're just generally winning the little bit of a skirmish that happens towards Banana too. I mean, there's a lot of utility being invested. They sometimes put 3 players there to make sure to have that control. But you know, off the back of that, they've been able to like almost consistently be able to get at least 1 kill off of when they are aggressive towards Banana. Mostly towards ins, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, flush up. Just hoping to try and make things a little bit more costly. Not going to be happening. Ins, another triple kill for him. And a 7th onto the board. Renegades looking to try and drag this to our 3rd and final map. As mentioned, both teams over the last few months have had a flawless record, although I do imagine those are against slightly different opposition. Even still, waiting to see whether or not Fnatic are going to rise back into this one. The last map was pretty much a blowout, and a lot of the time the momentum alone on a map like Dust 2 can be enough to take you through. Inferno, they now have the issue of having to break the economy of their opposition, so there'll be lots of utility for at least the next few rounds. They are going to go for the investment, and JW is left with just a Deeg in hand. Nice nade coming out onto Inz and Malta. But in the meantime, again, we're seeing this passive default out from Fnatic, taking control of apartments, slowly edging their way up Banana and just making sure that the CT side aren't able to get too much map control. But the fact is, most of their plays so far from the Aussies have been very passive. Like the B side players, they challenge initially on Banana, but don't really take too much control. They don't really opt to keep it. And on the A side, other than maybe Dexter and Sicko having a little peek into mid, it's just been passive holds again. They're forcing Fnatic into these execution-based plays, and so far they haven't worked too well.
Oh, Golden. Spot on Malta crossing towards the site. Might have been an opportunity to actually crack open. Even then, you got Dexter in towards CT spawn. Just kind of hovering here, waiting to rotate into when the execute comes through, which will be towards the B side, it seems. Let's see, can Fnatic finally hit the shots they need? And Malta, well, he's able to get one. Not able to get the spray down to the second, though, as Golden and Flusha chime in together to open up the B site. Bomb now picked back up in the hands of Crims, and Flusha, again, through the smoke, takes down Dexter. Bomb will be planted. Now Fnatic should be able to get a fourth on the board here. Renegades, they have a good amount of money, so they could invest into this and go for it. Try to make it expensive for Fnatic's side.
Well, as easy as you like for Golden. Sicko not really wanting to rebuy that AWP, so it's just going to fall back. Also doesn't really want to give it over to the other side. But I think they have finally pinpointed the vulnerability of this CT side, and it is the B side. Like, I think they've really struggled to get anywhere near arch control. I think the one round that they had on the A side was actually just we saw the complete abandonment of short, which gave Fnatic the space through.
Right.
But these late plays into the B side, once the utility's gone, they're winning these aim duels. And that's the tough thing that I actually think Renegades have made maybe a mistake or two, is the rotation is not quite quick enough. So you basically have to gamble that those two players are going to be able to at least get 2 kills. And so far, I think each time it's been a 2-for-1 trade in favor of Fnatic.
Yeah, remember they used the boost up in a prior round.
Yeah,
Only able to get one off of that. I mean, but Renegades is not short on cash, so going to be invested back into this. Sicko is actually going to be the one to get aggressive here and towards middle. Goes for the peek straight in towards T stairs. Immediately backs away when he sees no one. And again, Fnatic still trying to fight for banana control early on. Nade comes through, doesn't connect. That one does a little bit. Truly is a war zone over here at banana. And Inns might go for the peek with help of flashbang. 1-for-1 trade comes through. Now Malta, he does have the backup of Dexter though, so they still have 2 more players left on the B site.
That was so close. Flusha gets tagged and then the nade follows up to take away 80% of his remaining HP, but he will survive on 2. Oh, this shot for Sicko, a bit uncharacteristic, and I think he's screwed here. He's gonna have to peek out. Did he catch the shot anyway? Almost running into the face of JW, but a nice trade from Crims, and this leave Hats alone. Look how quick the rotation's been. There's players pushing up through mid. They don't expect it. Malta with 2. As said, they've been so good. The B player is actually retaking A, and this time they didn't even really have it on the Fnatic side. Crims just hoping that someone walks into his crosshair while they come looking for the site. Hats, the shoulder peeking out. The SG's perfect for this position, and Crims isn't going to miss the shot. A 2v1 opportunity for Crims, and there's not many people you'd want in this situation over him. The only real issue is the time. 20 seconds left. Fairly passive spot, actually, from Dexter, maybe expecting a rotation away from the A side, but instead it's going to be the retrieval of the bomb, and Crims doesn't really stand a chance here. If he goes for this bomb plant, Dexter will be waiting, and he doesn't even get the chance.
Fortunate part was because of how long ago his teammates were killed, the bomb was dropped in towards top mid, he just had no idea where anyone was going to be. Like the possibilities of apartments towards long, middle, boiler, like there was just too many options for him to check. He just had to make the play for it, and unfortunately it doesn't work out for them. But either way, Renegades, 8 rounds now on the CT side of Inferno. Looking much different than what we saw on Dust 2. Maybe that's a map they should keep out of picking again potentially later on in the tournament, because they're looking like a completely different team here. I mean, Sicko alone, 11 kills. Currently is second for his team. Has really been able to step up. I mean, he saw that shot at JW. Like a little pop flash from himself to get out of the cubby. Pistols picked up for Fnatic as they're looking to push straight through, and Dexter, well, he talked about being annoying. He's there yet again. He gets himself 2. Maybe even a 3rd here in a few seconds.
It's almost one of those spots where you go, he's not going to do that again.
Surely he can't do it again, right?
But he always seems to do it when they don't have anything to clear him from there as well, which it probably makes it even more annoying. It's like, last round, I had a Molotov. But this round, I don't. And you're in the corner again.
I know what I'm going to do. Next round, I'm going to get a Molotov.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw it there. He's not going to be there, but he'll know that next time after that, maybe he won't go there.
And then the second you don't check it, He's there once again. That's it. Like, he's one of those players that I really wouldn't like to play against because I think I'd punch a hole in my desk.
How sturdy is your desk at home?
Not very.
Oh, okay. I was kind of hoping it was like just solid wood and you're going to like go Karate Kid on it or something.
Oh, yeah. I've got like a metallic desk. That's what it is.
Oh, that would hurt.
Well, not much hope for Fnatic in this round. 35 seconds as they do look to build into B, and it seems like the CT side are aware of this possibility, so they've sent back their duo of defenders in Malta and Inns. There's no utility either, so I don't really know how Fnatic will get away with this other than some crazy headshots. Pre-fire from Brolin. Expected the fountain spot. Nice work from Malta, though. He needed to at least get the duo there just to make sure the bomb can't go down in time. Flusher, he just needs to die, really, just to make sure that he actually gets the bonus money for the next round. So a 9th will come up for Renegades. This is looking like the polar opposite to the previous map. They're looking strong, confident, and each player performing. And now for Fnatic, a tactical pause, and you can't really blame them at this point. This is going to be one of their last-ditch efforts to get a buy on the board. They've only really had individual rounds, except for the 2 that they managed to get in round 3 and 4. So it's been a long hiatus, a break in between each one that's allowed Renegades to build back up the cash. And there's a reason Hats is at the bottom of the board, and that's because he plays Pit on A, and they've only got there, I think, once, and he got 3 kills.
He's just lonely. He wants some company. I mean, the pistol round, that was pretty much it for him, right? The other time they went there, he was just popping off heads, as you mentioned. And Fnatic not going for the op this time, sticking to the AKs and the 1 SG out of Brolin. And yeah, it's kind of unfortunate for Fnatic. They've not really been able to get onto these sites easily. Like, they've been considering, you know, the 14th round here. They've gone towards B and taken a lot more damage, I think, in the long run. Way more often than Renegades. This time, though, Brolin. Okay. I don't know whether it's 2 in Boiler, but hey.
I think they were doing the boost that gives you vision over the top, but instead he just wraps around the corner and nets both opening kills. Sicko, this is the position he likes to play. Maybe not this far back, but he's going to be holding within the side. I don't think there's anything he can do. The Molotov forces him off the angle, and this has been a much faster pace round from Fnatic, and it has worked wonderfully. Obviously, they basically executed off their youngster getting the couple of kills, but even still, they left the remaining players without much hope on the site, and there's no point for Inns to really try anything here. 1 versus 5. Even though they have the money, I still think just making sure they keep the rifle because they won't have any loss bonus at this point. So just make sure that your buy is as good as it possibly can be for the next round. Although I don't know if Golden's going to allow for that. He's going to peek in. And Fnatic have their fits. A 9-6 half really wouldn't be too bad for either side. Like going into the T side for Renegades, I don't think they'd be too unhappy with that. But at the same time, I think it would give more of a chance for Fnatic to get back into the match.
I think Brolin just got tired of losing. Like, just went straight through like that in the Boiler.
That's it.
Yeah, I'm done. All right, guys.
This is my round. He had that face as well. I wonder if, like, the photographer goes, "Can you smile?" And he goes, "No." No.
But no.
No.
I always try to imagine what the players are thinking when they're taking the picture.
I'm probably thinking of you.
I really doubt that. Now, if it was Kenny, yes. All right, then 100%.
He's actually crying in his picture.
Because he misses me so much.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Fnatic, I mean, nice little round to get back. Very clean as well, not losing a single player. There's a lot of utility already taken out of the hands of the Renegades. I mean, look at this. I mean, I don't think they had necessarily full utility kit. It's still down to 2 smokes, 2 Molotovs. Yeah, Sicko over towards the B side, so at least have 1 smoke to delay there if they need to. It looks like the hit might come towards there, potentially even wrap in towards B if they can get in towards CT spawn.
I think this, again, is a complete adaptation of what they did in the previous round. Like, Dexter, normally the Arch player, is deep within Pit. You've got Sicko now playing on the opposing site as well on B. So they have completely changed their strategy for this single round, maybe just expecting that, okay, we've had a couple of rounds now where they've just blasted through short, so let's stack it up so there's not really anything they can do about it. They have 4 players here as well. Malta is going to get tagged, but this late utility has slowed down Fnatic a bit. Even still, Golden with the initial entry into the site, but they've still got this pit position to clear, although because the bomb's already within the site, they can just plant. But for the retake, this couldn't be any better, really, for Renegades with the positions that they still hold.
Some great smokes coming down, though, Fnatic to like take away the sight lines out of Renegades from the pit. Thing is, Fnatic are obviously going to expect players to be there. JW, oh, he's got ins creeping up. Dexter's going to get one, though, from pits. I 100% know his players here. JW's not able to quite connect, though, as he looks to back away. He's going to look to potentially wrap in towards CT, where there's going to be two players already waiting. Golden tucked away in sight, looking to get a couple of kills here or there. His position has been given away as he tries to get some support from the apartments. JW gets the first. The bomb's being defused. I don't think there's much he can do about this, even with the second shot coming through. Jumps through the fire. But unfortunately, jumps into a victory for Renegades. 10-5 at the end of the first half for our lads. Let's see if they can continue this pace and move into the second half after this. Welcome back, everyone, to the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice 2020 Masters Championship, as we're going to be finding out at the end of this week who will be crowned victor and take home a whopping amount of cash as well. $250,000 for first place, which is about 2 of Daham's day rates. I had to bring it in.
Wish.
Yeah. But currently it's Fnatic up against Renegades. Fnatic currently winning 1-0. As you can see, 10-5 though for Renegades on the CT side. JW getting very cheeky here and towards window. Not able to quite connect too many shots, but it's JW, it's Inferno. So get your popcorn. We're going to be in for a treat.
Yeah, JW and apartments. Like, name a more iconic place on the map.
Pineapple on pizza.
on the map.
I didn't hear that. I got too excited.
You didn't have that on your pizza, funnily enough, so I am going to call you a liar.
It's a treat, you know?
Brolin actually going to be double naded. An interesting investment coming out from Renegades, and a nade back in return from Golden. Flush is going to be the first to take a shot to the dome, and Malta has just doubled entry'd around the side of Arch. This leaves Crims alone. He's got his trusty CZ, but multiple players to find. That's going to be easier said than done. The first will go his way, but that is all. Malta's going ham in this round, and with the B site under their control, it now leaves just 2 players remaining from this CT side. No kit, a smoke available. Okay, a kit. Thank you for making that glow. That's a nice little update from CSGO. We'll see if Brolin could do anything here. 3 players almost homed in, but I like the wraparound more so from Dexter. As said, he's that annoyance. He's the man that's just in the back, just to kill you as you think you've got away. And he's going to be looking for JW as well, not wanting to allow him to save not only his Kevlar, but the kit and the smoke. It seems like the remaining teams are going to look to hunt him down as well. But do bear in mind, every kill that JW gets is an extra $300. So he is looking to make a little bit of bank as he goes along, just popping heads. It means nothing to the round, but he's going to kill everyone. The bomb goes off just to signal his defeat. But even still, that was impressive from J-Dubs.
That's the face he's making IRL right now. The picture he has there is like, you challenging me? You coming at me? Oh, man. Great stuff, though. I mean, yeah, they lost the round, but still, he gets 4 kills. He drops an M4 over. Not ideal of a start for Fnatic, as Renegades can be happy about that, but still, something at least to write home about for them.
Yeah, it's extra money. Like, it's something for them to play with into this round. They've given Flusher the rifle, who hasn't had the best performance so far, but going on to the CT side, this is where we expect to see a rise out of them. Decent amount of utility actually invested into as well, which you don't normally see in these second rounds, just because you don't have the money to do it. With the performance we've seen so far from Renegades, there was a quote out from Dexter prior to this event saying that he does believe they could make some playoffs at big events as a minimum, setting his goals for the year. They're definitely showing themselves so far in Inferno. Of course, a long way to go. We all know how prolific Fnatic can be at bringing back matches that almost look out of their reach. It's basically in their blood, it seems. I think the only people maybe better in the past have been their fellow Swedes of NIP, but maybe not quite anymore. Well, I guess we call them Dignitas now. Either way, it's going to be the push into the site. Nice spray from Flusher to start things off. And JW's actually managed to get another with the P250. This is getting a little bit ropey for Renegades. The bomb starts pushing down back towards middle. Now, with hats in the apartments, there's still potential of them getting onto the site, especially with how much Fnatic rotated. It's understandable. They only have pistols, but they might have given a little bit too much space over to the remaining players.
Oh, Crims. Important for him to stay alive right now to allow Brolin to rotate back in the site to help out. They're already low on HP as well. The bomb goes down. Brolin gets the dink and the finisher. And Fnatic, you can't count them out. You can't sleep on them. They take the next round with pretty much just an M4 and some pistols. Credit to JW. He got 2 kills, if I'm not mistaken, either in that round with the P250.
Well, yeah, that round was also financed courtesy of the JW Corp.
It's true.
Which managed to get all those kills off the back of a USB. I said at the time, like, just watch how much money he makes and then what it actually means. And, well, the investment that they managed to get into that round was a lot based off him. Now the T side have gone for an investment of their own, buying up a couple of Molotovs and a smoke, which is at least the first Molotovs just used to try and stop Fnatic from gaining all that banana control. Of course, they've thrown a couple of their own. They do have the SMGs, so their main goal in this round is to get up in the face of the Renegades players. And they do have to be a little bit careful because, well, we know that anybody on the Swedish side could just go all the way in behind them, so they are going to pick up the pace a little bit, use that utility to force some of these players back, smoke them out, and now they want to try and overwhelm JW.
I like that flash, actually. Has him a little bit of time. Golden gets dinked up, though, unfortunately trying to help out JW. Crims is there to help cut off the push in towards CT, and Dexter gets the headshot, but unfortunately not able to recover the weapon. Bomb's still back in the top of his, is trying to rotate back in towards short. Brolin here looking to defend with the SG. That's going to be Hats now down. The bomb finally makes its way through. Might be actually planted here in the meantime, unless they can rush him down, and Sika will get the plant. So mission accomplished for them, but not going to be the round, ideally. Just trying to come around the side. Sicko will take his head clean off, and now it's all on Brolin in a 1-on-2. There's very real possibility that Renegades can win this round now. Brolin now spots out Malta's going to be up in towards apartments, and knows there's a player in towards site, but doesn't know exactly where Sicko's going to be.
Sicko's job is just to stay alive at this point while his teammate goes for the rotation, hoping that Brolin will expect him to still be up above. Nice shot from the youngster, though, to find that final pick. And is he just going to fake out the defuse? He baits in Malta, but Malta just far enough round the corner and hits the shot with the D. He gets back and forwards. Round we go. As the Renegades bounce back right away, that lifeline that Fnatic built for themselves is snatched by the Renegades. And again, it's those pacey pistol rounds up middle that just seem to cause issues, not only for Fnatic, but for Renegades and for any side. It just seems like the quicker you move towards that A site, the more difficult it can be for the CT side.
Yeah, and honestly, it was kind of opened things up with Dexter, if I'm not mistaken. Gets that initial kill over towards Library, if I remember correctly. Got a dink onto Golden fairly on the round too, but I mean, Sicko winning that fight, that 1v1, getting the bomb down, and then just playing with it. Really help keep Renegades into this. And then, of course, we still have Overpass as a third map if we get there. Renegades looking to be on track to actually line that one up for us. We still have Mousesports up against Tai Lu as our third and final game of the day. Brought to you by Vince and Wolfie, who will be coming on into the studio. JW has invested into a scout. We got Brolin with an M4. We do have pistols and armor bought up for the rest of Fnatic. And if I didn't see 2 rounds ago, I would say this should be a relatively easy round for Renegades.
Well, these are always the most exciting matches to witness, where anything seems possible throughout any of the rounds. Like, there is no clean victories, and if anything, this force buy looks better than the one that they won with. So
true.
Who even knows at this point? JW's got a scout. We've got Brolin now on the rifle, which, no offense to Flusher, but I personally would give it to him. I think he is the star of the show. So once again going to be probing, and it's Renegades just able to take this map control, this time at least, without too much of a challenge. And most of that comes down to Fnatic not having the utility to really be able to do too much. You don't just want to be bombarding Banana without any HEs, without any incendiaries to really take control of it. It does leave their A site a little bit light, however. You've got JW with the scout. You have Crim stealing Dexter's position, which is something I might actually have to nickname it soon if he keeps playing there that long. To just add it to the list of player names we have on maps. Here goes JW. He gets aggressive, but doesn't expect anybody to be so close. Crim's in the corner. Sounds like his new podcast coming soon, but I think he's going to need to do an awful lot here. Nice shots onto Inns, who wasn't expecting anybody to be just around that spot. And look at the support. Fnatic have got players here so quickly. They managed to do the damage. It was actually the bomb peaking on Dexter, who had to try and fade away. And now they sit in a retake scenario, which is possible.
Especially with Crim's here. I don't think they've actually spotted and pushed up this far. Unfortunately, he's not able to get the kill, though, as Malta secures, and now Brolin trying to sneak behind with Golden and the scout. Spots out the first. But again, Renegades playing this one slow, not trying to peek into anything. Do they know the player is in the pit, though? That's going to be my question. I think it's going to be Hats there. Just clean shots coming through. Brolin gets him down, but it doesn't matter in the end. Renegades take the round. I'm a little bit confused, though, because Inns came around the corner into Dexter's spot, we'll call it for now. And he had like a flashbang. He had like a grenade in hand. Didn't even have his weapon out, so a little bit of a misstep there, I'd say.
It might have just been the case of, because JW peaked, they would have expected the trade to come sooner from Crims. And because he just went, nah, he's dead. Just leave him. That was what surprised him so much. But either way, it's something that needs to be checked. But luckily for them, Malta comes up with a big triple. He has been fantastic in this series so far. And see you later, JW. Maybe a little bit too predictable about how you like to get aggressive. Of course, this round doesn't really matter for Fnatic. They don't have anything to play with. This is the chance for Renegades to really build up an economy, make some cash, even kill a player through your teammate.
Oh, Brolin, P250. I mean, Renegade's looking good. I kind of wonder where this team was when it came to Dust 2, though. I mean, if we also look at, like, what, the Astralis Cloud9 match, Overpass was one-sided 16-7, and then we went on to Train. And Cloud9 actually had a lot of life in them. It seemed to have woken them up after map 1. Maybe it's the same kind of case here for Renegades, as Brolin's able to get the first kill onto Inns. I mean, he gets himself a Mac 10. Not the most ideal weapon to have. He's being flanked from behind. He's got players to the front. And now he has no head left to fight with. So Renegades now to 14, 2 away from taking us over to Overpass. But Fnatic, it's still not the best of buys for them. They don't really have the great money to invest into the utility they need on a map like Inferno.
Sorry, just counting how many wins on Overpass in a row it actually is for Renegades. 10. Granted, it is versus, again, like, a lot of the time smaller opposition or local opposition. The only real one, again, we talk about is going to be Cloud9, but it definitely leaves for what could be a fairly interesting finale if we get there. Bear in mind that Cloud9, I believe, were on a 12-map streak before Renegades ended it, so...
Jeez.
It was a battle of the Titans on that map. Either way, Inns already going to be tagged relatively low. The nade damage able to do something initially. Again, though, there's still not quite enough utility available, or even maybe weaponry for Fnatic to properly take control of the banana. They're still going to take the risk, though. Now, I'm less of a fan of this kind of 4-1. When Golden, all he can really hope for is footsteps on banana. That's all that he can get from information because he's not peeking deep enough down. So you'd normally maybe have the AWPer just around a wall or even a player jump spotting into banana so that you can make sure that this rotation doesn't happen. So they're just going almost off gambles. Now, JW finding that peak and not really spotting anyone else could force Flusher back. You can see he's tempted already to try and make a play back towards the B site, and that is the right call to make because they don't really know where the Renegades currently are. And the fact is, they're right on their front door. That smoke timing, though, that's an issue.
Oh, Golden. It's actually going to fall back into the flashbang. Gets the first, though. Sprays another second. Connects, though, for some decent damage. Now down to the 2 players with 20 seconds left to get this bomb down. Flusher plays this one perfectly, trying to wait for reinforcements. Yeah, let them get the bomb. They have the money anyways. We need to win the round, and he gets the kill. There we go, Fnatic. Again, pulling off these rounds with some scrappy buys. Gets him a 7th on the board, and really credit to Flusher with the smoke. The rotation's coming through to really buy that time and buy that separation they needed to force out these like 1v1s or 2v2s.
That timing was perfect. Like, I think it came down to just sort of watching the clock and realizing after JW peaked that, okay, they haven't taken upper mid control. If they're going to go for an execution onto the A site now, they would have already had that upper mid control. Like, you can assume at least. So that gave the clue, okay, I need to get back to banana. And again, that smoke went down with roughly 30 seconds on the clock. That means if they were going to wait for it, they'd have just over 10 seconds. So they had to go through it. And, well, because of that, everything went wrong for the Renegades. Golden's able to get a couple, and Flusher does the same. So good work from him. But we'll see if that's something that can be replicated. Like as said, that timing really was on point. T-side now come up with a better buy themselves. Dexter, those are those risky plays I talk about, though. Peeks through the smoke into a Molotov to try and get a kill onto Flusher. And Flusher, he's waiting.
They're able to get some decent damage done though, wow. With the grenade, I believe that was on a Flusher and Golden. So at least punishing them, doing about, almost the equivalent of 100 HP in damage. So Fnatic have a long road ahead of them. And early on in the round, by the way, JW was peeking in towards second mid. He got very aggressive with the help of the Molotovs thrown down towards T stairs. Took it potentially for another peek yet again. Catches out Malta right when the smoke dissipates. So again, man advantage being maintained for Fnatic. You said before, I mean, you can't really count them out, especially on a map like Inferno. And they're starting to build into these rounds as if they can pull this one back. They still have, 6 rounds to go after this one if they can close it out.
Once
nade.
The worry for me is just looking at the time on the clock once again. The nade over to Flusher. He is lucky to be alive. I really like that boost. Just to line that up, and Inns actually pre-fires into the coffins. Smoke's gone down. There's still a lurk in the form of hats around the other side, but it means that there's a 2v2 as they look to entry onto the site, and they've only got 10 seconds. They need to get their move on, and quickly. And Golden, he's just trying to spray through, looks for the bomb, but he doesn't quite deny it. It does manage to go down. However, I don't think it matters here. Hats, he can't sprint because they'll know he's there, and he just has to try and save his gun. So a bomb plant at least We'll give some extra finances. But again, this is starting to work really well for Fnatic, where the time just ticks and ticks and ticks. And by the time Renegades actually go for some sort of execution, it looks like it's too little too late. And in that scenario, unfortunately, their offense was split. So they were basically going into a site on a 2v2, and the CTs knew, okay, stay alive, hold on, we don't need to do anything.
I still really like the nade, as we pointed out.
Yeah.
I mean, Flush had 5 health. It just took 1 bullet. Had a Sicko coming around the corner to finish him off. No real utility being used out of Fnatic off the bat, though, on this round. I guess they're assuming there will be a save out of Renegades, which we can see is true. No Hats is able to maintain the AK from the prior round. And JW finally with the op here. This is where things are going to get really interesting for Renegades if they can dislodge him.
I'm just worried if they ever try and go towards pit now, because Brolin in the pit with an SG is just... you don't want to face that, ever. Like, he's just the last person. Either way. Utility being held by Fnatic. Again, they've been very good at delaying their opposition. Golden going to be waiting patiently. Nade to follow up absolutely ruins the remaining Ts, of course, without armor. They didn't really stand much of a chance, and Fnatic, this is another opportunity to keep things nice and clean, even still. Flusher. It's going to go down. It only leaves 1 man on the site. If they can somehow overwhelm it, Golden, that's a bit of a whiff spray, but he stays alive more importantly. And now the utility can follow up, and considering how low these remaining players are, there doesn't seem to be much of a chance. Dexter hoping to double up, but he's not going to be able to. JW with the triple to close out the round, but this is where things get back into the action as the Ts have another purchase.
I think Fnatic's really showing like a true master class of like utility usage here. I mean, in that round, they could have thrown everything early on into the bomb banana to get the early control, but knowing they're up against most likely a save, you might as well save it for later on when they try to actually execute into the site to make it even that much more difficult. If Golden didn't fluff his shot there, as they started to push in, like that would have been way more dominating than it actually turned out to be. And Renegade's gonna be missing a couple of pieces of utility. JW goes for the shot up against middle. Not able to quite connect onto Sicko, who's waiting for the return of JW. And it looks like banana control will be, I was gonna say, will be gained for Fnatic. However, Dexter.
Is that just straight through the smoke? I think it was. That's a painful one for Flusher. Especially his reputation around smokes. I think that's 2 rounds in a row he got killed through a smoke, and then the 3rd one, he got dunked by a nade and killed through the coffin. So, not having the best of times.
He just wants to play the game.
Dexter has come into his own once again. Flashbang over the top gives Golden 1, but it also gives a lot of information. Not only do the Ts know that JW's over on the B site, which is something that hasn't really happened too often throughout the match, but it means there's a maximum of 2 on the other side, or at least they thought. JW's taken the all-in gamble as he rotates to join the rest of his team. The B site now left completely open, but the Ts are none the wiser. And as the push comes in, I think they've timed this quite well, as JW's no longer going to be able to do too much unless he hits something straight through the smoke. Brolin, however, as said, from that pit, I think this is going to be so difficult to clear him.
20 seconds left. Trying to boost up to see into sight. JW back towards B. Nice little jump around as well. He's going to take it down. Brolin's there, but Brolin's only able to get 1. Crims, though, gets the avenging kill, though, with the Molotov. Now it's going to be JW up against Sicko. Op versus Op. Bomb now down. Renegades looking for a minimum of an overtime. Unable to quite connect the shot for both oppers here. Incendiary comes in yet again to force Sicko off and back into a different position. Comes around the corner. Smokes there. JW doesn't know where Siggy's going to be, but he still connects a shot nonetheless with the pistol. Trying to jump through the smoke here. Trying to connect a single shot. Time has started to tick away, and JW just going back for the reload. The smoke will dissipate. Throws the op at him. And Sicko's playing this perfect, playing it down to a T. JW will get the kill, but the defuse, will it be there in time? Oh my gosh, if Sicko just held a little bit longer. JW gets the last laugh and keeps Fnatic in this one.
I didn't think he had that.
Neither did I.
In my mind, I was just like, nah, there's no way. I thought that was so well played by Sicko. He baited down the time, and then just at the last second, JW just runs in, gets the kill, and gets the defusal as well. That one's going to sting for the Renegades. Because that really should have been their round to take. JW, plenty of mind games in that battle. Now he's the only one with the AWP. Tees will have an investment once again, and with only one player surviving, they're going to try and at least damage that CT side economy further, whittle away at it. But over the last few rounds, they've been able to build up. That is actually a nade that's bounced over the top, which has done a lot of damage onto Malta and Inns as they try to line up their grenades. A good HE coming in from Fnatic, and a Molotov actually going to go just as they pop their flashes and throw the smoke. So that's a lot of initial damage and a lot of utility expended by Renegades. And as of yet, they've achieved absolutely nothing. JW is going to get that opening pick. His CT side AWP has been fantastic. In fact, both CT side AWPers were performing well. But now they look to break past Brolin once again. They've been able to get trades the majority of the time, but it's just taking him out without a response. When you're already a man down, that's tough, but Sicko's able to do it, but even still, Brolin gets a kill. And do they know that Crims is still lurking? They don't. He gets one, but that's all. Again, effective trading, but there is the man renowned for playing around the smokes, and he'll manage to find one through it, leaving Malta alone, just 2 HP. He needs instant headshots, and it's not going to happen. Fnatic are clawing their way back into this match as they get further into double digits.
I know, looking back at this now, there's like so many opportunities potentially that you're seeing where like if they just played things a little bit differently, Renegades could be on to map 3 right now. I mean, if Sicko was able to delay just a millisecond longer in that 1v1, they would have had 15.
That's the tilting thing, is that if you're a Renegades fan right now, I don't necessarily think the Renegades are doing a lot wrong. It's just that Fnatic are just a little bit ahead of them.
Squeaking by.
And that's all it is. It's like milliseconds, it's slight details, but that is enough to keep Fnatic in this match, which could have easily been over by now. But the worrying thing is the longer this goes, the better Fnatic become. Like, this is where they're in their element, where they're up against the wall in a map. And for Renegades, a less experienced side, I don't think anybody's doubting that, will the pressure get to them here? They're going to go for a quick wraparound. We've seen them do the work with the pistols before, but Crims, clinical as ever, is going to clean up those first 2 remaining players. JW, maybe not so much. He's going to miss his shot, but is there with a P250, eventually pressured down, and Malta still fragging along, but he won't be able to do anything more. Crims now starting to step up to the plate as Fnatic continue this comeback into the match.
12-14. Timeout coming in. Much needed timeout, I say, for Renegades. They got the money to buy, but they need to find that magic equation, that magic formula to close out this map, potentially. Every round that goes by is just putting them closer and closer. What's up?
It's 6 rounds in a row now. 3 of them had bomb plants, and that was not... Well, actually, no, it was including that 1v1 clutch as well. So there's been a lot of opportunities now for Renegades to take this map over the line, and I do start to worry for them. This is easily where the pressure can creep in. You're up against the titan of Counter-Strike for who even knows how long at this point. Like, it's getting to a ridiculous margin how good Fnatic have been and for how long. The question is there going to be a breaking point? Is there going to be someone to drag them through? We've seen great performances pretty much across the board. They always say that the best series end on this map, but hey, as a second map, it seems to be pretty good as well. Smoke deep into Banana. And an initial 3-man stack, but mostly that's just in case there's an aggressive rush and also just to expend some early utility. You can see Crims, he threw his smoke deep so that he can now wrap around and they can use theirs later on if they need it. Brolin also up in apps. He's not been here before, and Hans is not going to check it. That's the bomb down early on. They need to trade this out, but Brolin gets away with 3. That is far more than he ever should have been able to achieve, and they're still looking to see if he's there. Flusher now gains some space because of it, and Sicko, he's not going to be able to do anything here. It's play after play coming up from Fnatic, and this time it's the youngster once again. A position not played previously. And Fnatic, they're just 1 round behind, Jason.
Yeah. And I mean, what do you do here if you're Renegades? Like, the money wasn't terrible, but it necessarily wasn't enough to be able to buy fully into this. And it looks like they will go for the save here. Just a couple of pistols, a little bit of armor here or there. Maybe the fast play could be exactly what they need. I think Fnatic's going to have to definitely respect that. I think like we saw with early utility usage in the round prior. Another incendiary being thrown straight down towards the bottom and middle. And here they come, rushing straight towards the B side. Flush is waiting though, and Flush gets himself a nice crisp little double. And a third, and a fourth, not gonna happen as Zen's gonna finish him off. And now Golden, he's gotta hold steady. He does have Crims there to back him up, however. The bomb's still down towards the top of T mid. And it looks like we might be seeing a 14th on the board here.
We've had a few spray downs like that now. Like Crims did it a couple of rounds ago. We've just seen Brolin as well pick up a quad kill. Now it's Flush's turn. Like, it seems like everybody on Fnatic has started to wake up. JW had himself a wonderful little clutch not too long ago with milliseconds left on the clock. It basically means it's Golden's turn.
Way to put the pressure on him, Tom.
How much damage can Dexter and Inns do here? The chance to win the round is slim. They've retrieved a rifle at least. They're actually going to smoke off the left side of the bomb site. It leaves Crims without vision. The nades onto the player on coffins have been doing a large amount of damage throughout. Inns actually going to be able to sneak his way around in towards the church, and he's praying that Crims is not looking in that direction. But he's not. That will be the clinical kill. Now they just look for Golden, who's going to be lurking at the back of the site. He's been spotted out, both players with M4s. But still 20 seconds left, and the rotations now come in. The bomb not in the hands of the remaining team, but pretty damn close. But I think they've missed their chance here. Inns left completely blind, and Golden will close out the round. A double for him. Wasn't quite as much as I'd like, but you know, that was a decent play.
I like
to hold on to the site.
Gets the first kill, knows there's only one player left, knows exactly where he is. Just wait for the reinforcements to get there. You don't need to go for the hero play. And now Fnatic are on the edge of getting their 15th round on the board here in a situation I didn't really expect to happen, considering how Renegades started things off. It was 10-5 first half, and Renegades have been on 14 for what, the last 8 rounds now?
Yeah, it's been a long streak from Fnatic, and we said it at the time, you can never count out the Swedes. Just for anybody wondering where the Wheel of Fortune goes, it is now for JW's turn again. Hey, after Golden just gets the double, oh, okay, yep, there we go. It was bound to happen eventually, where I call someone out and go, oh, it's their turn, and they die.
So this is 2020, Tom. 2019, Tom was very, very careful.
Ah, what's the point of being careful? There's no fun in that. Either way, the early aggression out from JW is actually going to fail miserably, but they do still have 3 players left defending this site. They leave Golden alone. He's got a smoke available, but at the same time, he can easily be isolated out of this B site. This is the opportunity that the Renegades were looking for. They've got that opening pick. Crims is in the corner once again. They seem a little bit more wise to this position. They also have a couple of incendiaries. It's just whether they want to use them for this exact purpose. They know that they'll need one for the pit when it comes to the execution. And actually, the players rotated off Arch, so Crims is on his own. Dexter has been looking here for the majority of the time, so if this is not checked, I may actually cry. Smoke going to be going down. Flusher leaves Crims completely isolated, and Dexter checks the corner. Not going to allow for this again. He does get traded out, but even still, that gives them far more of an opener. But they've got to clear Brolin, and once again, he steps up. It's a triple kill off the back of the SG. As said, he's a player that's tough to clear as it is, but having that SG in hand is always so difficult. Hat, he's managed to kill, but he's got 9 seconds and about the same HP. Brolin, another 4K, so I'm sorry, the wheel... I don't even know. Maybe it was his turn. I've lost count at this point. But how many big plays? That's basically the point I'm trying to make. I get that it's a stupid analogy, but how many individual big plays have now come out of Fnatic? 3Ks, 4Ks, be it a defuse in the last second. Fnatic have just had these players stepping up exactly when they need them, and we have gone from what was a dominant position in the opposition's favor to now Fnatic just 1 round away from 2-0ing the series.
Just having that advantage too. So unfortunate for Renegades not to be able to close that out, all because of 1 player in the pit. And let's see though, can they throw it into overtime here in round number 30 on our second map? They're by. There's really not much to be said about it, unfortunately.
I think this was 14-6.
Oh, Good spray down. Brolin again. Does this guy miss many shots with the SG? Finally, one comes through, but the damage has been done. Smoke comes in to delay any sort of push out of apartments. You have Ins flanking him from behind, which might have an opportunity, but JW quickly shuts that one down, and it's all on Malta and Sicko to keep Renegades' hopes alive in their opening match of Intel Extreme Masters Katowice as they come out of apartments and straight into the welcoming arms of Fnatic.
That was impressive. Like, that was like a vintage Fnatic comeback. This is something that they've been doing for years and years and years, but either way, what a way to close out the series. We're going to be back after what is a short break, and we'll be breaking this one down.